Hello everyone, it's Space Chaser again. Welcome to another video. This is part 2 of the series looking at the Peaks Parkway project, the roads that were built in the Grimsby area in the 1980s and 1990s. And in this part we're going to look at phase 3 of the project, which was Peaks Parkway itself. Part 1 of the series, which I'll put a link in the description of this video to, looked at phases 1, which was Frederick Way just ahead of me there, and phase 2, Ellis Way, which is just behind me. They were built in 1988 and 1993 respectively to give the traffic somewhere to go. Humberside County Council, who instigated the Peaks Parkway scheme, realised if you just built Peaks Parkway on its own and put the traffic into the existing road network, it wouldn't be able to cope. So they built 2 new roads first to help filter the traffic on and off the new road, and that's what we looked at, as I say, in part 1 of this series. So Peaks Parkway itself, which is just off to the left there, opened on the 19th of October 1998. By the time it opened, Humberside County Council, who, as I said, devised the project, had ceased to exist. They were abolished in April 1996, so it fell to North East Lincolnshire Council to open the new road. A day or so before it opened, on the 19th of October 1998, there was a fun run along the alignment of it. Before it opened, people could come and run along it. The good people of Grimsby had been using it as a shortcut before that. Somebody I work with had taken a shortcut to work down it on his bike, but he didn't realise it wasn't fully finished, and he ended up ploughing into a hole and going over his handlebars, but he was alright. So Peaks Parkway formed a new alignment of the A16 road. It allowed the old A16 along Bargate and through Scatha to be bypassed, and it runs for 3.3 miles from this junction with Victoria Street and the other parts of the Peaks Parkway project along to New Waltham. There was also a 0.4 mile spur built at the New Waltham end, connecting this road to Hewitt's Avenue and a large Tesco store at Hewitt's Circus. The contractor for the road was Burst. The cost of it was £10.9 million. It was originally proposed to run the road alongside the alignment of the railway line, the old East Lincolnshire Railway. Indeed, I covered parts of this road when I did a video on the East Lincolnshire Railway. I walked down the route of it. I'll put a link again in the description to this video to those. There's 2 parts to that series. So it was intended to build the road alongside the railway alignment. The railway itself had closed in 1980 when the last freight train ran to Louth, but the alignment of the railway was promised to the Lincolnshire Wolds Railway Society, who nowadays run a steam railway at Ludborough, and I believe it's trying to extend it towards Louth. But they had first refusal, the idea being they could extend their steam railway up to Grimsby. However, in order to build the road next to the railway, they need to demolish quite a lot of houses, 490 of them to be exact, and the cost of compulsorily purchasing and then rehousing all the people from them was prohibitive. So in the end it was decided to build the road along the railway line, much to the disappointment of the Railway Society. This end of the road is new, however. The railway started just over there, and this is a new bit. When Peaks Parkway opened, most of the bit within Grimsby was a 30-mile-an-hour speed restriction, which was controversial because, as you can see, it's laid out like a main road and it looks like a faster road. So a lot of people got caught speeding on it. So the speed limit on most of it was raised to 40 after a short while, after a bit of a campaign. This end of it is still 30 because whichever way you're going, you come round a bend up from out of a dip and find a junction with traffic lights. In this case, in this direction, the Victoria Street junction, and in that direction a retail park, which we'll see shortly. So now on Pasture Street. This was one of the roads that was really bypassed by the building of Ellis Way, phase 2 of the Peaks Parkway project. This was formerly the main route in and out of town for traffic coming from sort of the East Marsh area and Freeman Street. I believe this part of it was 2-way. When you get there, it was 1 way towards town, and traffic going away from town turned left where the car lot is and went down Robinson Street East. As you can see, they're not really up to being the major artery in and out of town. And you can understand why they wanted to build Ellis Way and filter the traffic onto a more modern, wider road. Let's have a quick look along Peaks Parkway to the Victoria Street junction there. And just look the other way. Apologies for the lighting, we are shooting it, as I said, at the end of December in quite low sun. This is where the road wiggled round to join the railway alignment. The railway came off this. This is the Grimsby to Cleethorpes railway. Cleethorpes is that way, Grimsby is that way. And there was a triangular junction here. A line came off and went down onto the East Lincolnshire line towards Louth. Another spur came round from the direction of Grimsby Town Station and curved round to join it. So where this road comes up out of the dip, where it passes under Pasture Street and the railway, it comes up, and as you can probably just about see over the bridge there, it curves round and it comes onto the railway alignment just up there. Almost immediately when you come out of the dip under Pasture Street and the railway line, you come to a road junction. Originally there was only a left turn here. The right turn's been added more recently to the new council depot at Doughty Road. Well, it's an existing council depot, but it's been rebuilt and had a second entrance put in from this end rather than just the Doughty Road end. It's been quite controversial. It's taken them absolutely ages to do it and quite a lot of money. But the original junction was to the left, and it served the B&Q store, as you can see, and Halfords. They were very quick to take advantage of the new road to give a link to a new store. The stores stand on the site of a goods depot, a railway goods depot that was next to the East Lincolnshire Railway. As I said, this is where the Peaks Parkway road joins the railway alignment, and we'll see it a little bit further on. See the junction there from the exit from the B&Q and Halfords stores. In case you're wondering, by the way, what the snorting noise was on the last clip, it was Alfie the border collie. He was sniffing something and he's just made himself sneeze. You can see why drivers got into trouble when it was originally 30 miles an hour, because you can see it's a really wide road. There's no pedestrian access to it. To film this, I'm having to walk down the side streets that run parallel and just pop out where they cross over it. So here's the crossing of Waltham Road. In the railway days it was a level crossing. You can see the crossing keeper's house there. But yeah, following the campaign, not long after it opened, the speed limit was raised on this section to 40 miles an hour. You can just about see the sign where it goes down to 30 in the distance there. Let me just try and zoom in. So the red car that's at the front of that group there is just approaching the 30 miles an hour sign now. So from there onwards it's 40. And you can see it running in that direction down towards Grimsby Road, which is where we're going next, but I'll show you something on the way. So on both sides of the road there are streets like this. These were built after the railway line was put in place, so they were only built with one side. You can see the equivalent on the other side there. The houses were set back because the builder, Edward Heneage, was worried about sparks from the railway locomotives causing fires, so he put them further back than normal. As you can see, they've got a path in front of them rather than a roadway. When the railway closed, these houses took over the banking. The houses on both sides took over the banking, the embankment of the railway. Some officially, some actually bought their section of land in front of the house. Other ones just kind of took it over by themselves without actually buying it. So Humberside County Council, when they were proposing to build this road and buying the land up to do it, had to work out who owned which bits of the embankment and buy them either off the British Railways Board or off the householders. But that's what they did. They bought the embankment so that they could put these trees and shrubs up as soundproofing and also build the wall you see there. For good measure, they also gave a grant to the householders to fit double glazing to reduce the noise in the houses, and they also bought the pathway in front of the houses. It was previously maintained by the householders themselves, but as the council were doing all the other work, they were worried about the condition of the pathways and that there might be an accident with people tripping over, so they bought the pathway so they could maintain them. We're just on another of the one-sided streets here, but you can see the kind of area behind them, the terraced housing. It's the same on both sides, so that's what would have been demolished basically if they'd built the road next to the railway line rather than along the railway line itself. That's why they would have had to demolish 490 homes, because it goes for an area, or it would have gone for an area of densely populated terraced housing. So now we've come to the Grimsby Road junction. When the railway first arrived, Grimsby Road was a little country lane running through fields. There were no houses around here, it was all just open fields, and it crossed the railway on a level crossing. As the area became more built up and traffic increased, the level crossing became a problem. So what they did, they replaced it. They dug out the ground so that the road could pass underneath the railway line. The footpaths passed under on a higher level. They didn't go all the way down the dip and back up again. And that remained the case after the railway closed. It still went down underneath the former railway line. The bridge was still in place. And it was intended when they built Peaks Parkway to carry on that. So the road, Peaks Parkway, would just have gone over Grimsby Road on the bridge, or on a replacement for the bridge. However, it was decided when they thought about it that Grimsby Road was too important not to have a junction with Peaks Parkway. Grimsby Road nowadays forms part of the A46 road. It runs all the way from Bath in Somerset to Cleethorpes. It's one of the longest A roads in the country. As I say, it was far too important not to have a junction, so they filled in the dive under the subway that had gone under the railway line and put a surface level junction in. This is the only place they had to demolish anything. They demolished 2 houses, which is far better than the 490 if they put the road next to the railway line. But 2 houses were demolished for a slip road. I'm not quite sure which of the slip roads it was. I think it was possibly this one we're looking at, but it may have been the one diagonally opposite. But anyway, 2 semi-detached houses were compulsorily purchased and demolished, and they were the only buildings that were demolished in the making of Peaks Parkway. Let's have a shot back along Peaks Parkway towards the town centre there. After another detour, I'm on a footpath just heading back to Peaks Parkway, and this is the bit of it you can walk on, which is ironic because it's 50 miles an hour at this point. So where it's segregated closer to town, it's 40 miles an hour, dropping to 30 as you get to the Victoria Street end of it. But the bit you can actually walk on is 50 miles an hour, graded up to national speed limit, as we'll see. So there you go, looking back towards Victoria Street, you can see the signs there in the distance for the 40 miles an hour restriction. So this bit we're on is 50, but you can, as I say, walk alongside it. You can see there's a path there. I should explain there's some allotments on the other side of the road there. That's where the smoke's coming from. There's a couple of bonfires. So I'm going to finish this video at this bridge. I'm not going to go all the way to New Waltham. You get the gist of it. The road runs along there to New Waltham with the footpath alongside it. You can see just under the bridge it steps up to the national speed limit, 60 miles an hour for this road as it's single carriageway. So the bridge carries a farm track. It replaces an earlier bridge in the same place that went over the railway that was known locally as Peaks Tunnel. Well, obviously it isn't a tunnel, it's a bridge, but they built a new bridge over the road to carry the same farm track. So we're going to finish the video on the bridge. Thank you for watching as always. Apologies for the low sun. I've been trying to film this for the last couple of days, but it's been too busy. There have been too many people about, too much traffic. But ironically, the last couple of days have been overcast, so it's been great for filming. I've done it on the Sunday morning, so it's a bit quieter, but unfortunately we've got the sun today, and being late December, it's quite low. So we'll look back there towards Victoria Street. You can see the telephone exchange building looming up where we started the journey at the Victoria Street junction. And there's the view towards New Waltham. In the far distance is a roundabout where the spare off to Hewitt's Avenue goes that I was talking about at the start of the video. So if you have enjoyed the video or you found it interesting, please hit the like button. It makes it more obvious to other people on YouTube and it gets it more views. My local history ones don't tend to get that many views because they're just fairly niche, but they do take quite a bit of research. In the case of this one, quite a lot of legwork as well. I've filmed part 1 of this series before I've done part 2 today, so me and Alf will have done about 8 miles walking by the time we've finished. So yeah, please hit the like button. Thank you for watching. As I say, I will put links in the description to part 1 of this series where we looked at phases 1 and 2 of the Peaks Parkway project. That was Frederick Ward Way and Ellis Way. I'll also put a link in, if I can find it, to the East Lincolnshire one where I walked along the remains of the East Lincolnshire Railway, or the site of the East Lincolnshire Railway, and that mentions Peaks Parkway as well. If I can find that, I'll put the links in. I'll also put links in the description to the 2 programmes I've made about the Peaks Parkway project that were inspired by some artist impressions I bought. There's one of the Victoria Street junction and there's one of Ellis Way. I've done a video about each of those and I'll put those again in the links. They're sort of parts 1 and 2 of the Peaks Parkway project series. I think this, what I'm referring to, is parts 1 and 2 of this one, will be parts 3 and 4 actually. But yeah, thank you for watching. So I'm off for a nice coffee. Alf's got a bacon sizzler type thing to eat when we get home. and a bowl of water. So thank you for joining us, take care, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.